So I've been trying to make this video for about a year now. This is going to be my coming out story, but it's going to be a little different than the stories that I have seen, and I want to share my journey and how I became the person I've always wanted to be. About a year ago is when I came out. For me, it's more along the lines of my journey to spirituality. A little background on me. I grew up in a Christian home. We went to church every once in a while because my school made me. I went to chapel every Wednesday because my school made me, and it never really aligned with me. The messages that I was receiving just I didn't see how people could believe such a thing, but it's what I grew up with. About the time when I was going to be a freshman in high school, my parents split up and my mom started her journey down her spiritual path. And seeing her kind of enlighten and wake up made me want to do those things. So I would ask her questions and I would do things, and I was seeing therapists through this time because I struggled with depression and I struggled with my parents' divorce. They helped me become to the person I am today, but they didn't completely align with what they were saying. I didn't understand how to gain the strength I needed to overcome my suicidal thoughts and to overcome the depression. And I didn't like the label depression. About 2 years ago is when I changed my life. I started seeing a spiritual guide. And my spiritual guide did wonders. I had broken down walls that I have built up for years. I was so numb. I didn't want to feel. I wanted to be normal, and I took all of this stuff that I thought was abnormal, that I didn't understand and I didn't want to feel or think, and I put them all down in this little box for so long, and I became so numb, untrue to myself. I didn't even know who I was when I first started seeing Amelia. I didn't know how to be anything other than a mold of a person trying to fit in. My whole life I had been trying to fit in when I was born to shine bright and be different. And Amelia helped me see that I'm supposed to be different, that it's okay to not be the same cookie cutter person that I thought everyone else was. And that everyone is on their own journey and their own path. I don't need to understand how they're doing it. I need to understand how I need to do it and the lessons that I need to learn. And in this transition of blooming into myself, being comfortable with who I am as a person, I started unfolding the masks that I had put on and the walls that I had put up to be somebody that I wasn't, and I finally was shedding these layers, things that I didn't like and things that I did like, and really figuring out who I was in my core. And then one night I was like, something's off. This isn't me. Something's going on and something's weird. And I was doing well for myself, but something was still off. And I was like, I'm not being true to myself. There's some other layer of me that I have not uncovered yet. And I sat and I meditated on this feeling, tried to figure out what it was, and it finally came to me because I started talking to this girl, and when I started talking to her, I wanted to talk to her. I didn't want to be friends with her. I saw her and I thought she was beautiful. Like, I never wanted to talk to a guy before. I had dated guys my whole life and I just did it because it's what everyone else did, and then I started talking to this girl and it brought up all these feelings that I didn't understand, and like I was just like, whoa, you can actually feel butterflies about somebody. Like, you can actually get so excited just getting to know somebody. You don't need like this physical connection, like you can just have this mental connection. And I was blown away by this fact that I could get to know somebody and be so excited about it just talking to them, and I was so drawn to her soul. And then after I had this wonderful enlightenment of feeling of butterflies, I was like, well, I think that's a sign. May or may not be a sign that I may or may not be dating the wrong gender. Just was laying in bed and was like, I really like this girl. I really like her, and I've never really liked guys much. Yep. And that's the moment that I realized that I'm gay. It took me a very long time after kind of realizing it to say it out loud. It took me months to be like, okay, well, this feeling is real and I probably should say it out loud, and I should probably and the feeling is real and I should probably acknowledge it, and I should probably act on it because it's so real. But and it's not normal. It's not cookie cutter. It's not fitting into a mold of what you're supposed to do. I'm not gonna have a white picket fence and house with a bunch of kids running around if I date a girl. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen if I marry a girl. And I can't do that. Can't do that. Nope, not happening. Nope, we're gonna bottle that back down. Well, bottling it down didn't really help it, because it just wanted to come out, because I was so excited deep down that I had finally found something that I really liked. So feelings came back up, and I sat and I talked to Amelia about it, and we really talked about it. And I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna cause a lot of controversy, but I want you to hear me out before you click out of this video. Hear me out, or at least hear me out before you pass a judgment. When I told her that I had these feelings for a girl and I thought I was gay, that I didn't understand these feelings that I had for a girl, I didn't want to say I was gay, she stopped me and she explained it, and it makes sense, and I'm going to explain it how I perceive it. I am in touch with my spiritual side, so I see souls. I see a person for who they are deep down. No race, no gender, no physical attributes, nothing but who they are deep down in their soul. So I can see past a gender to date somebody, which is what I did for 23 years of my life, because I'm interested in it. But when it comes to physical attraction, women are who I like. I see a woman and that's who I want to date. I see a woman and that's who I choose I want to be with. So for me, being a lesbian is a choice. It's not everyone's story, but for me, in my own personal journey, is to be gay. It may sound weird to you guys, and you might say, oh, well, you're pansexual. I got it. I can see your labels, and I understand if you need to put a label to it, that would be the box that you want to stick me in. And if I'm going to stick myself in a box that I want to be in and only label myself as one thing, I'm going to label myself as a lesbian, because when it comes down to it, I want to be with women. I find them intriguing, I find them dead sexy, and it's feelings that I've never felt when I look at a man. And to me, that says more than being past a soul. Could I end up with a guy? If he's a 1 in a million guy, I don't foresee it happening, because my interest peaks in women, and those are the people that I'm going to continue to pursue. So, in a nutshell, I just wanted to share my story and show that the way you can come into this can be completely different. And the fact that I was so numb that I couldn't see past this layers on layers on layers of stuff that I had put up and bottled down, so that because I wanted to be a cookie cutter mold, it was bullshit. It was not right. It was not good. It was not healthy. And breaking down my walls, I became free. I figured out who I am and who I love and who I want to be. And now I'm living and breathing and feeling and living through these emotions and these things that I want to see and I want to figure out. And I'm finally filling the shoes that I've always wanted to fill. And through that, and because of that spiritual journey that I have taken, it has manifested itself into a whole different ball field that I never thought could happen. So if somebody out there is struggling trying to figure out who they are, I really want you to take a moment and reflect on yourself and sit and ground yourself and understand who you are and what your needs are, not what everyone else wants from you, not everyone else's journey is going to take them, but where you want to see yourself and where you want your journey to take you. And that for some people, sexuality is a choice. For others, they're born with it, and it's your God-given right to feel that way or to be that way. But for some people, they don't fit the cookie cutter mold. They're not gonna fit one label. They're not gonna fit a box that humans have to put everyone into. So be true to yourself. Be who you need to be, not what everyone else needs you to be. That is my message, and that is what I hope that you can get from my coming out story.